Let's take a look at your money at 6:15. According to the U.S. Department of Commerce, the manufacturing sector is the third largest component of the U.S. economy. In 2023, the U.S. manufacturing sector produced more than $2.8 trillion in goods and services. Here in the Quad Cities, the local manufacturing industries also played a major role in the health and validity of our local economy. But last week, the Institute for Supply Management reported that the U.S. manufacturing sector is still in a near two-year decline. Financial advisor Mark Gravicheski is joining us now on Zoom to break this down for us. Good morning, Mark.
Morning, Devin. Good to see you on a Tuesday morning.
Yes, great to have you back. Now, what did this latest report from the Institute for Supply Management say about the state of the U.S. manufacturing sector?
Each month, Devin, the Institute for Supply Management releases its manufacturing index, which is a leading gauge on the health of the U.S. manufacturing sector. The goal, so to speak, is to provide insight on the level of demand for U.S. manufactured products. Now, in its August report released last Tuesday, the index showed the U.S. manufacturing sector once again contracted. In other words, it actually shrunk and got smaller. In fact, the U.S. manufacturing sector has now contracted in 21 out of the last 22 months. So of all the major sectors within the U.S. economy, the manufacturing sector is one that continues to struggle the most.
So what do you think are some of the major factors behind this ongoing decline in the manufacturing sector?
Yeah, what we're hearing from many companies, not just manufacturers, but really also from companies across all of the sectors of the economy, is the strain that high inflation and high interest rates have had on consumers and businesses. Obviously, with this high inflation, everything now costs a lot more, but interest rates have also soared to a 40-year high. So that makes it much more expensive for consumers and businesses to buy goods on credit. They're now going to be charged a much higher interest rate to borrow money on their credit cards, on their bank loans, on their auto loans, even home mortgages. For businesses, they're charged a higher rate to finance the purchase of their inventory, new equipment, or to expand their facilities. And finally, now you kind of add on this growing apprehension about a potential recession later this year. So all of this has kind of accumulated up and created a very challenging environment for this manufacturing sector.
Now, Mark, on Friday, the Department of Labor released its monthly employment report, which showed that 142,000 new jobs were added in August. How has the labor market held up within the manufacturing sector?
The manufacturing sector, Devin, has been hit with a number of highly publicized layoffs this year. Obviously, we're all familiar with John Deere here in the Quad Cities, but look, other big name companies, think of Lockheed Martin, Tesla, Unilever, General Electric, and many others have also announced sizable layoffs. So far this year, the U.S. manufacturing sector has lost 33,000 jobs. That's the most of any of the 14 sectors within the economy. But look, anytime one of these big name manufacturers announces layoffs, it also impacts this giant expansive web of companies that provide parts and supplies and materials and services to that manufacturing company. And as we've seen, even here in the Quad Cities, it often forces those vendors and suppliers to start laying off their own employees.
All right, Mark. Well, yes, thank you so much for crunching those numbers and, of course, how all of this impacts our area. We'll see you next week.
Enjoy the rest of your week. See you on Monday.
Yes, thank you.